All praises to the Most High God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, and peace to everyone joining us on the program. This is the Fountain of Israel's Bible Studies class. And as you guys can see, I am out on location, but I definitely wanted to get back with the brethren and get these classes back in, these lessons. I missed you guys. Just want to let you guys know, Shabbat Shalom, all the Fountain of Israel listeners and followers. I appreciate you guys hanging in there. And I just wanted to join you guys. Shabbat Shalom. Sheila Robbins, Shabbat Shalom, sister. I appreciate all you guys, hanging in there and just watching, the Fountain of Israel and keeping everything going. I keep you guys in prayer all the time. Y'all knows. Shabbat Shalom, thankful life. Shalom, shalom. Glad to have all you guys in there. Shabbat Shalom, Sister Baldwin. Appreciate you guys. Appreciate you guys. They starting to come in. I'm gonna let a few more of you guys get in there. Shabbat Shalom, Yashara'al. Shalom, brother. Shalom. Shalom. I got my son on there. Appreciate that, you guys. I'm just gonna let a few more people get in there, but I wanted to join you guys. Shalom, shalom, sister Yvonne. Shalom, shalom. I got my wife on there. So I appreciate you guys hanging in there. I really do. I was just out on location, just really trying to get some stuff done business-wise a little bit. So I'm away from my normal spot. I'm away from the studio, as it were. But I didn't forget you guys. I wanted to kind of go, shalom, sister Erica. I wanted to, get back with you guys. Look at that. There's a brother Chris. Shalom, shalom. I'm humbled. I'm humbled and I'm flattered. But I wanted to keep some of the lessons keep going. Sometimes we have to go back to the root of the matter. Sometimes we have to go back and revisit some lessons. Sometimes it may not be the first time you heard it, but it may be the first time somebody else heard it, another sister or brother. So I was kind of going back into the archives and showing some of those. What's going on? How's it going? But I was showing, I wanted to show some of these other things there, and also to kind of help me while I was kind of in transition doing this thing. So I should be home soon. But until then, as long as you guys are okay that I'm on location and you don't have the Fountain of Israel banner and I'm in my usual spot in front of the podium, as long as you guys are okay with that, then hey, I'll bring lessons whenever I can. I mean, I enjoy doing this. I love trying to share the truth, what I believe the truth. After I study the scriptures, I study to show myself approved. I study to see if what I'm reading is true. And I appreciate you guys being Bereans and checking behind and following along that I'm reading it right there on the line, and I'm giving it to you, I believe, the way the Most High has put upon me and put on my heart. But this lesson really is going to be, it's not so much about marriage as it is about before you get married, okay? It's some of us who have already married, there's some things obviously that we can consider and some things we can get out of this lesson. But it's really about our sisters and brothers who are either divorced and find themselves single, or someone who's never married, and some of the things that they need to look for and look out for. And one of the things that we can do to edify each other is those who have who've been married and have gone before our brothers and sisters who have not been married yet. We can help them, okay? We can help them, we can build them up, we can edify them and ask them, and tell them some of the things that they should look for, some of the things they should look out for before they choose a mate to walk in this life. Because one of the things I do know for sure is that if we are unequally yoked, if we're with someone that the Most High did not send to us, if you're a woman or put in front of you, if you're a man or whatever, it can make your life pretty hard. I'm sure plenty of you guys can say amen to that. It can make it really, really tough. And if you are a man and you are on your path and you're really trying to get somewhere and have some things come to pass, you have a particular vision in your heart that you want to come to pass, you want to have a help meet. But some people, if you have the wrong one, you have a hindrance meet. Someone who's going to slow you down from what you are trying to do. So there's some particular characteristics that I think you should be able to look at and identify before you actually walk down that, or get married. But before you go walk down that aisle, you guys know the expression. So let us build one another up. Let's go look at some of these things. And I want to look at some of the profiles of the patriarchs there and the matriarchs. Look at some of the people that are in the Bible, some of the things that we should be looking for when we are looking for a mate. And if you, sister, when a guy shows up, there's some things that you should be looking for. And we're going to deal with that. But what I'm going to do, since the male is the hunter, I want to look at or examine some of the scriptures at the type of women that our brothers should be looking for, okay, that we should be looking for. And I want to look at a few of the little profiles, a couple of the stories there. Some of the stories, some of the more overlooked stories I want to look at, and of course some of the ones that you guys may already know and be very, very familiar. So let me just go ahead and jump into the scriptures. And shalom and shalom to everyone. Thank you for joining. But what I'm going to do, if you guys want to jot down your scriptures real quick, I want to go through some of these, and you guys can follow along. Or if I go too fast, you write down the scriptures and you can always go back to them yourself. But I'm going to start in 2 Corinthians chapter 6, if you will. 2 Corinthians chapter 6, and let's see, where am I going to go first? Chapter 6, verse 14. And you guys are familiar with this scripture, but we're going to go ahead and read it. Be ye not unequally yoked together with unbelievers. For what fellowship has righteousness with unrighteousness? And what communion has light with darkness? And what record has Christ with Belial? Or what part has he that believeth with an infidel? And what agreement hath the temple of God with idols? For ye are the temple of the living God. As God has said, I will dwell in them and walk in them, and I will be their God, and they shall be my people. Wherefore, come out from among them, and be ye separate, says the Lord, and touch not the unclean thing, and I will receive you. So one of the things I want to get from this particular passage of scripture is that, it's just going to make your life harder. You will struggle, okay, when you are with the wrong person. They can take you off your path. Whichever path that the Lord has put you on, and then you partner up with someone who's not on that same path, there's going to be a struggle. There's going to be a tug of war. So if you're ready, and we're here for a finite amount of time, okay, in the flesh. We're here for a finite amount of time. And so you're going to be wasting a whole lot of time warring and arguing and stuff. See, while some tribes, while some families are bickering and arguing and fighting, the other ones who are functioning, they are getting the job done. They're going forward, okay? Because you got so much strife and contention, but unequally yoked. And just because you have a little bit of an argument here and there doesn't mean that you're unequally yoked. Sometimes you have to understand conflict resolution. You have to get back on the same page. As long as you're on the same page, as long as you're walking the same path, it can work. Okay, but when you have someone, and you have completely different, diametrically opposing paradigms, it's really hard. It's really, really tough. So let's go on over to Deuteronomy chapter 7. Let's look at that, because some people jump out of the window and they miss something that's really important. But Deuteronomy chapter 7, okay, chapter 7, and I'm going to look at verse 1. Deuteronomy 7:1. He said, and when the Lord thy God shall bring thee into the land whither thou goest to possess it, and hast cast out many nations before thee, the Hittites, and the Girgashites, and the Amorites, and the Canaanites, and the Perizzites, and the Havites, and the Jebusites, 7 nations greater and mightier than thou. And when the Lord thy God shall deliver them before thee, thou shalt smite them and utterly destroy them. Thou shalt make no covenant with them, nor show mercy unto them. Neither shalt thou make marriages with them. Thy daughter shall not give unto his sons, nor his daughter shall not take unto thy son. Why? See, none of us ask why. Why not to mix with these other people? Verse 4. For they will turn away thy son from following me, that they may serve other gods. So will the anger of the Lord be kindled against you and destroy thee suddenly. He even gives us the reason. Okay, in his mercy, he gives us the reason. This is why I don't want you to marry these other people. Because why? You're going to be unequally yoked. And if we just read just the answer, for they will turn away thy son from following me. So a lot of people, shalom, shalom, I see. A lot of people get yoked up. Okay, let's look at it in a world in a worldly manner. You were raised a certain way, and your mate, future mate, whatever, they come from a different background. They come from completely different background. They raised differently, different set of values, different. And what happens is that when we meet someone, what happens? We're intrigued by them. We think they're attractive and stuff like that. We get to know them, and we're interested in them, right? And we find out things about them. They're interesting. They're different. Hey, we learn about these particular people, okay? Then, because our attraction, because we're so intrigued, okay, because it's just strong enough, we begin to compromise our own values. We begin to compromise our own beliefs. Why? Just for the sake of being with this person. Okay? Just for the sake of being with this person, we're like, well, I guess, all right, because we like this person. Okay? Because we're attracted to this person, because we find this person interesting. Okay, this person stimulates us, and so that's what would happen if you're unequally yoked. You with the wrong person. You got to get to the point where you have your priorities in order. You have your faith. You are so strong in what you believe in your faith, and guess what? The person that is for you, okay, it will line up perfectly. It will line up. They will have the exact same values you have. There's a lot of people out there in the world, okay? There's a lot of, quote unquote, interesting people in the world. There's a lot of attractive people in the world. I'm talking about attractive, to you. There's a lot. But all of them are not for you just because they're attractive, okay? Not all of them are for you just because they're, quote unquote, interesting, okay? You can wait on the next person, or you can wait on the right person. That's completely up to you. So that's what you don't want to compromise. In this case, you don't want to compromise your God. You don't want to compromise your identity. You don't want to compromise your God. You don't want to compromise. There is someone who will join you on your path, on the path that you're on, and not take you off of it. Not force you to compromise everything that you believe. We have to remember that. Okay, so let's look at some of these profiles here. We're back here. Let's go to Exodus. Exodus chapter 4. Let's go to Exodus chapter 4. Okay, I want to look at someone. You may be passionate of the law. Okay, you may be, Torah observant. You're passionate of the law. Let's go to chapter 4. You may be passionate of the law. Guess what? Someone can come along and be just as passionate as you and say, hey, look, didn't God say do this or that? Okay, someone will come along and be just as passionate as you. Let's look at chapter 4, Exodus chapter 4. And let's go to verse 24. Okay, let's look at Zipporah, one of Moses' wife. Okay, 24. Check this out. In 24 it said, and it came to pass by the way in him that the Lord met him and sought to kill him. That's when the Lord was coming after Moses, okay, because he didn't do what the Lord said. He did not circumcise his son like he was supposed to, okay. What did she do? In 25, then Zipporah took a sharp stone and cut off the foreskin of her son and cast it at his feet, Moses' feet, and said, surely a bloody husband art thou to me. So let him go. Then she said, and a bloody husband thou art because of the circumcision. It's like, look, Moses, you trying to get us killed, okay? You trying to get yourself killed. You should be doing what, do what the Most. See, this is a woman who wants him to do what the Most High said to do. You're looking for someone just like that. Just like that. Okay? Thank you, brother. That's what you're gonna want someone just as passionate. Okay? Just someone just as passionate. Say, look, the Lord wants me to do. He has a wife here, Zipporah, who is just saying, look, we know he's a lawgiver. The Lord said, we got all these men around here circumcising their sons and everything, whatever. You gave the law. You told everybody this is what the Lord told us to do, whatever. And here I am with a son whom you're supposed to circumcise, but you didn't. And this is thus says the Lord. You trying to get yourself killed. And you might get the rest of us killed because of this. So she took it upon herself to do that. She was not wrong. She had no railing accusation against her. She was wrong. She was right. You can find someone just as passionate about the law, just as passionate about the Most High, just like you. You wait on your Sephora. We're not done. We're going to go forward. Go to Judges chapter 4. Let's go to Judges chapter 4. Judges chapter 4, and I would like to pick it up at 4, okay? At 4. Shalom, shalom, Sister Maria. We're going to pick it up at 4. I'll tell you something, okay? We're going to talk, about Deborah. Okay, you want someone, a female who's going to be your right hand. Someone who is righteous. Someone who's got your back. Okay? Someone who's going to inspire you rather than tear you down. Someone who's going to inspire you. Let's look at Deborah. She's one of our judges. Okay? In verse 4, Judges 4 and 4, it says, And Deborah, a prophetess, the wife of Lapidoth, she judged Israel at that time. And she dwelt under the palm tree of Deborah between Ramah and Bethlehem, Ephraim. In Mount Bethel, in Mount Ephraim, And the children of Israel came up to her for judgment, okay? They all came up to her for judgment. Verse 6, And she sent and called Barak, the son of Abinoam, out of Kadesh, Naphtali, and said unto him, Hath not the Lord God of Israel commanded, saying, Go and draw toward Mount Tabor, and take with thee 10,000 men of the children of Naphtali and of the children of Zebulun? She asked a question in verse 7. And I will draw unto thee to the river Kishon Sisera, the captain of Jabin's army, with his chariots and his multitude, and I will deliver him into thine hand. And verse 8, And Barak said unto her, If thou wilt go with me, then I will go. But if thou wilt not go with me, then I will not go. And she said, I will surely go with thee, notwithstanding the journey that thou takest shall not be for thy honor. For the Lord shall sell Sisera into the hand of a woman. And Deborah arose and went with Barak to Kadesh. I want you guys to see that. Okay, I want you guys to see that. Now, if you're trying to get something done, or you're trying to build an enterprise, or you're trying to build your community or your tribe or something, you want a Deborah. You want someone who also hears from the Most High. You want someone who trusts the Most High. She's saying, well, didn't the Lord say, not her own thing. She wasn't ego-driven or anything like that. She wasn't trying to usurp authority from anybody or anything like that. She was just saying, well, didn't the Lord say, nothing wrong with that. Wise woman. People came to her for judgment. They had a matter, say, you know what, sister, I don't know what to do about this or that or this or that. Boom, she get sound judgment. Wise woman. See, these are just some of the profiles that we need to look at when these people are there. These people exist. They're not a dime a dozen. That's just it. They exist. There's no Miss Perfect. There's no Miss Right. There's Miss Right for you. The one that the Most High puts in your path. She's right for you. Same thing to you, sisters. There's no Mr. Perfect. There's no Mr. Right. There's Mr. Right for you. We got to keep that in mind. But we're not done. We're going to keep going. You want a right hand? Get the qualities of Sister Deborah, the prophetess, the judge. Okay? You want a right hand. Let's look at this. Want some encouragement there? We're still in Judges. Go to Judges chapter 13. Judges chapter 13. And there's a lot. I can tell you right now, you guys know there's a lot of people we can turn to and get examples out of this word. A lot of them. But I just want to go to a couple here. But I want to look at something here. Judges 13, I'm going to pick it up at chapter 2, if you will. Judges 13, chapter 2 begins, And there was a certain man of Zorah, of the family of the Danites, whose name was Manoah, and his wife was barren and bare not. And the angel of the Lord appeared unto the woman and said unto her, the angel of the Lord appeared unto the woman. So the Lord is dealing with our sisters too. So brothers, if you can find a sister that the Lord is dealing with, that's what you want. The Lord who's with this, the Spirit of the Most High is with our women. Okay, that right there. That's something right there. Thou art barren and bearest not. But it says, I'm back up in verse 3. And the angel of the Lord appeared unto the woman and said unto her, Behold now, thou art barren and bearest not. But thou shalt conceive and bear a child. So the Lord said, look, you're barren. You know, you can't have children. You don't have any kids. You can't have kids. You don't have any kids. But you will. Said 4. Now, therefore, beware, I pray thee, and drink not wine, nor strong drink, or eat not any unclean thing. The body is our temple, right? So you don't want to put anything unclean. You want to put anything abominable in our temple. Okay? For lo, thou shalt conceive and bear a son, and no razor shall come on his head, for the child shall be a Nazarite unto God from the womb, and he shall begin to deliver Israel out of the hand of the Philistines. Then the woman came and told her husband, saying, A man of God came unto me, and his countenance was like the countenance of an angel of God, very terrible. But I asked him not whence he was, neither told he me his name. But he said unto me, Behold, thou shalt conceive and bear a son, and now drink no wine, nor strong drink, neither eat any unclean thing, for the child shall be a Nazarite to God from the womb to the day of his death. And then Manoah entreated the Lord and said, see, now he prays, this is a praying man. He entreated the Lord and said, O my Lord, let the man of God which thou didst send come again unto us, and teach us what we shall do unto the child that shall be born. And God hearkened to the voice of Manoah, and the angel of God came again unto the woman as she sat in the field. But Manoah, her husband, was not with her. And the woman made haste and ran and showed her husband, and said unto him, Behold, the man has appeared unto me that came unto me the other day. And Manoah arose and went after his wife, and came to the man, and said unto him, Art thou the man that spaketh unto the woman? And he said, I am. And Manoah said, Now let thy words come to pass. How shall we order the child? And how shall we do unto him? Like what shall, okay, how are we gonna raise the child? What are we gonna do? And Manoah said, Now let thy words come to pass. How shall we order the child? And how shall we do unto him? And the angel of the Lord said unto Manoah, All of that I said unto the woman, let her beware. 14. She may not eat anything that cometh of the vine, neither let her drink wine or strong drink, nor eat any unclean thing. All that I command her, let her observe. And Manoah said unto the angel of the Lord, I pray thee, let us detain thee until we have made ready a kid for thee. So he said, why don't you just stay with us, and we'll prepare, a goat for you. And the angel of the Lord said unto Manoah, Though thou detain me, I will not eat of thy bread. And if thou wilt offer a burnt offer, thou must offer it unto the Lord. See, that's learning something on the way to learning something. You go to worship an angel or something like that. If it's a true angel of the Most High, they never accept the worship. They don't accept the sacrifice. They don't accept the worship. These are, good messengers of the Lord. They're like, no, that need to go to the Lord, that kind of thing. Anyway, that's learning something on the way of learning something. For Manoah knew not that he was an angel of the Lord. 17. And Manoah said unto the angel of the Lord, What is thy name, that when thy sayings come to pass, we may do thee honor? And the angel, trying to give him honor, but the angel, what does the angel say? And the angel of the Lord said unto him, Why ask thou thus after my name, seeing it is a secret? I can't tell you that. I can't tell you that. 19. So Manoah took a kid with a meat offering and offered it upon a rock unto the Lord. And the angel did wondrously. And Manoah and his wife looked on. Now check this out, guys. We're not done. Looked on. 20. For it came to pass when the flame went up toward heaven from off the altar, that the angel of the Lord ascended in the flame of the altar. And Manoah and his wife looked on it and fell to their faces to the ground. I know I would if it happened. I know I would. Okay, fell to their faces to the ground. Now watch this. This is how Manoah. This is how Manoah took this event that just happened. 21. But the angel of the Lord did no more appear to Manoah and to his wife. Then Manoah knew that he was an angel of the Lord. 22. And Manoah said unto his wife, we shall surely die because we have seen God. Now, they know it's an angel of the Lord, but he said, we shall surely die. Shalom, Brother Wesley. We shall surely die. Okay, so he thought this was like, whoa, something's wrong. We seen God, an angel. He knows an angel afterwards, but we seen God. I mean, we're in big trouble. Misinterpretation, right? He said, for we have seen God. 23. But his wife said unto him, if the Lord were pleased to kill us, he would not have received a burnt offering and a meat offering at our hands. Neither would he have showed us all these things, nor would as at this time have told us such things as these. And the woman bare a son and called his name Samson, and the child grew, and the Lord blessed him. 24. Manoah's wife. A sister with some sense. A sister who understood how the Lord was working. Who understood. She says, look, if the Most High wanted to kill us, he could have done that. If the Most High wanted to kill us, then one, he wouldn't have came and told us good news. I'm barren, I don't have a child, but yeah, I'm going to conceive. Okay, I'm going to have a child anyway. Then when we offer a sacrifice up to him, he accepted it. When the fire comes down to the altar and boom, whisk it up, that's the Lord accepting it. An angel jumped in the flame and boom, he'll send it up. Okay? So he said, she said, if it would please the Lord that we should be killed, he would have did that. He wouldn't have did all this stuff, accept our sacrifice, our offering and everything, and then just... She said, wait a minute, calm down, hold on a second. Okay, with reason. She entreated her husband with reason, and she, encouraged him, like, hold on, you might be misreading this. Some sense. And there's some brothers out there who are blessed with a woman just like Manoah's wife. And that's what you want to be looking for. Someone who fills in our blind spots. Sometimes, hey, men of Israel, we do. We have blind spots, okay? And sometimes our women are respectable, they're honorable, they fill in those blind spots. They don't have to be belligerent or anything like that. They fill in those blind spots. So men, it's not that you want some kind of weak woman, docile, can't make up her mind. No, that's not what you just want. A woman who fears the Most High and who's willing to honor you. Okay, I want to encourage you. Some of you guys out there, you got to be looking at some of these communities. I mean, obviously, be a believer, be in the faith and stuff like that. But you got to look at some of the women on some of these communities. Because I've seen some, and these are some of the most beautiful women. And I mean, I'm talking about in spirit. I'm not even talking about physically. I'm talking about in spirit. Humble, love God, want to honor their husband, want to take care of you and your children. They exist. They're just not a dime a dozen. But when you do find one, it is worth it. She will bless you. They're out there. You look at some of these communities, and I'm telling you, they are out there. I'm telling you. Let's go over to First Samuel. Let's go to 1 Samuel. Let's take a look at this. First Samuel, chapter 1. 1 Samuel chapter 1. We looked at Manoah's wife. We looked at Zipporah. We looked at Deborah. We looked at Manoah's wife. Let's look at Hannah. Okay, 1 Samuel chapter 1. I'm gonna start at verse 12. Okay, so 1 Samuel chapter 1 verse 12, and it said, and it came to pass as she continued praying before the Lord that Eli marked her mouth. Now Hannah, she spake in her heart, only her lips moved. Okay, only her lips moved, but her voice was not heard. So she was just kind of mouth moving, Didn't hear anything, right? But her voice was not heard. Therefore, Eli thought she had been drunken. Okay? And Eli said unto her, how long wilt thou be drunken? Put away thy wine from thee. Stop drinking. Stop drinking. It's too early for this, woman. What's wrong with you? Okay, 15. And Hannah answered and said, no, my Lord. I am a woman of a sorrowful spirit. I have drunk neither wine nor strong drink, but have poured out my soul before the Lord. So she is in anguish and vexation. She's sad and she's crying out before the Lord. And she just gave him a little bit of understanding. Sometimes we have blind spots. Sometimes we don't catch it, as husbands. Not perfect. Sometimes we don't catch it. And she's 16, count not thy handmaid for a daughter of Belial, for out of the abundance of my complaint and grief have I spoken hereunto. That's all I was saying. I'm just crying out. That's it. That's all I'm doing. I'm not drunk. I'm just crying out. Then Eli answered and said, go in peace. And the God of Israel grant thee thy petition that thou hast asked of him. That thou hast asked of him. And 18, and she said, let thy handmaid find grace in thy sight. So the woman went her way and did eat, and her countenance was no more sad. Okay, so she just that little bit, she gave him a little bit of understanding. Okay, and Eli, he's a priest. He's a priest. He just thought, hey, this woman is drunk. What's going on? She said, no. So you get a little bit of wisdom. A little bit of wisdom. Don't get me wrong. I could go to all the low-hanging fruit. I mean, I can go to Ruth and Esther and all that. Okay, I can do that. Peace, shalom, thankful life. I could go there, but I want to go. I don't want you to miss some of the little nuggets that are in the word. Some of the little things so you want a woman has some wisdom about her. There's some wisdom there. Okay, she's like, no, I'm not drunk. I haven't been drinking anything. I'm not drunk or whatever. I'm counting out before the Lord. I'm just calling out to the Lord, letting my petition be known. Okay, and the man of God said, hey, may God be with you. Go. And then she felt better. Okay. And this is a woman. Okay? You want a praying woman. You want a woman humble, not afraid to say, hey, you know what? I have this fear, this vexation. I have, these issues, that issues. And she's bringing her petition to the Lord. You want a woman that doesn't have a problem with that. You want a woman who doesn't have all that pride and arrogance and stuff like that. And then at the same time, she has some wisdom that she can bestow upon you when we have our blind spots. We got to think about that. We're not done. We're in 1 Samuel, but let's go all the way to chapter 25. All the way to chapter 25, 1 Samuel. All the way to chapter 25. And when we get to 25, I'm going to start at verse... I can read a lot of this one, but I'm gonna start at I think I'm gonna start at verse 12. Okay, verse 12. Okay, in verse 12 it says, so David's young men turned their way and went again, and came and told him all those sayings. Now I could tell you guys, you know what? Y'all want to back up a little bit? How about we back up just a little bit? We'll back up a little bit. Okay. We'll back up a little bit. In 25, this is after Samuel died. Okay, he was pretty much like the last judge, of Israel. Samuel died. Okay, I'm gonna back it up just a little bit. I'm gonna start at verse 2, 25 verse 2. It said, and there was a man in Moan whose possessions were in Carmel, and the man was very great, and he had 3,000 sheep and 1,000 goats, and he was shearing his sheep in Carmel. Now the name of the man was Nabal, and the name of his wife Abigail. Okay, and she was a woman of good understanding and of a beautiful countenance. You can have an Abigail, guys. Good understanding, good countenance. Okay, you can have an Abigail. Okay, but the man was churlish and evil in his doings, and he was of the house of Caleb. Now, and David heard in the wilderness that Nabal did shear his sheep. And David went out 10 young men, and David said unto the young men, get ye up to Carmel, and go to Nabal, and greet him in my name. And thus shall ye say to him that liveth in prosperity. Nabal was very, very rich. Okay, living in prosperity. Peace be unto thee, and peace be unto thy house, and peace be unto all that thou hast. And now I have heard that thou hast shearers. Now thy shepherds which were with us, we hurt them not, neither was there aught missing unto them, all the while they were in Carmel. Meaning, okay, we know you got a lot of sheep, and we didn't hurt any of them. None of them went missing. No one stole anything or anything like that. Okay, we didn't do it. We didn't let nobody else do it. We took care of you. Ask thy young men, and they will show thee. Wherefore, let the young men find favor in thy eyes, for we come in a good day. Give, I pray thee, whatsoever cometh to thy hand unto thy servants and to thy son David. And when David's young men came, they spake to Nabal according to all those words in the name of David, and ceased. And Nabal answered David's servants and said, Who is David? And who is the son of Jesse? There be many servants nowadays that break away every man from his master. Shall I then take my bread and my water and my flesh that I have killed for my shearers and give it unto men, whom I know not whence they be? I don't even, Nabal's like, wow, who's David? I don't care. Okay, yeah, okay. Ooh, you didn't steal from me, and you didn't, and you guarded my stuff. You took care of my stuff. Okay, so who's David? Who are you? What, am I going to take food from out of my servant's mouth and give it to someone else? Yeah, not a good response. Not a smart response. Somebody who took it upon themselves to take care of you, make sure you're good and your flock is good, and you keep your wealth and your abundance. Can we get something? Peace be unto you and your household. God has blessed you. Not exactly asking for a handout. It was actually some hospitality. So David's young men turned their way and went again and came and told him all those things. Okay? And David said unto the men, Gird ye on every man his sword. And they girded on every man his sword, and David also girded on his sword. And there went up after David about 400 men, and 200 abode by the stuff. Okay. David's response was like, "Oh, you don't care. And who am I? Who's David? Who's the son of Jesse? Oh, okay. All right. I'm gonna show you who I am. I'm about to show you. Everybody, get all your stuff. They got strapped in, got their swords, and they were ready to go knock on Nabal's door and say, Nabal, come outside. Come outside, Nabal. That's what's gonna happen. That's what's about to happen. So, 14. But one of the young men told Abigail, Nabal's wife, saying, Behold, David sent messengers out of the wilderness to salute our master, and he railed on him. He talked much trash. Told you he talked trash. But the men were very good unto us, and we were not hurt, neither missed we anything, as long as we were croissant with them, as long as we walked with them, as long as they were good with them, okay? Conversant with them. When we were in the fields, conversant, just walk with them, be with them, dwell together, that kind of thing. They were a wall unto us, both by the night and day, all the while we were with them, keeping the sheep. They protected us. They looked out for us. They watched our back. This is what the laborer was saying. This is what the shearer was saying. He's like, they had our back. And Nabal was like, skip that. 17. Now therefore know and consider thou wilt do, for evil is determined against our master and against all his household, for he is such a son of Belial, and a man cannot speak to him. So we can't talk any sense to him. This dude, Nabal crazy. And then Abigail, what are we gonna do? Because David is coming and his men, and this is about to be a problem. Okay, so he said, so what are we gonna do? Then Abigail made haste and took 200 loaves and 2 bottles of wine and 5 sheep ready dressed, and 5 measures of parched corn and 100 clusters of raisins and 200 cakes of figs, and laid them on asses. And she said unto her servants, Go on before me. Behold, I come after you. But she told not her husband Nabal. And it was so. And she rode on the ass that she came down by to convert of the hill, and behold, David and his men came down against her, and she met them. Now David had said, surely in vain have I kept all that this fellow had in the wilderness, so that nothing was missed of all this pertain unto him. And he hath requited me evil for good. So this is how you're going to repay me. Okay? Evil for good. So, and more also do God unto the enemies of David. If I leave of all that pertain to him by the morning light, any that pisses against the wall. He said, look, man, all the males, okay? That's what it means that pisses against the wall. It's just a euphemism for a male. And when Abigail saw David, she hastened and lighted off her ass and fell before David on her face and bowed herself to the ground. Now, this is the kind of respect that she showed. You have a woman like that? That's going to show respect? Okay? And fell at his feet and said, Upon me, my Lord, upon me let this iniquity be, and let thy handmaid, I pray thee, speak in thy audience, and hear the words of thy handmaid. So first she just wants to say, would you even listen to what I have to say? Please, put it all on me. Let me listen to what I have to say. Again, you have a woman, selfless. She's thinking about her and her household. She knows what she's married to, but still, you got a lot of innocent servants, okay? You got a lot of innocent servants that's about to get killed because of her husband. How many women out there may be married to Nabal? But you still have to be Abigail. So fellas, this is what you should be looking for. 25, let thou, my Lord, I pray thee, regard this man of Belial, even Nabal, for as his name is, so is he. Foolish. Nabal is his name, and folly is with him. But I, thy handmaid, saw not the young men of my Lord, whom thou didst send. Now therefore, my Lord, as the Lord liveth, and as thy soul liveth, seeing the Lord has withholden thee from coming to shed blood, and from avenging thyself with thy own hand, now let thy enemies and they that seek evil to my Lord be as Nabal. Be as Nabal. Okay. And now this blessing which thy handmaid has brought unto my Lord, let it even be given unto the young men that follow my Lord. I pray thee, forgive the trespass of thy handmaid, for the Lord will certainly make my Lord a sure house, because my Lord fighteth the battles of the Lord, and evil has not been found in thee all thy days. So she heard about David and stuff like that. So it's like, look, Nabal, excuse him, he's a foolish man. He's gonna get a whole lot of us. He's gonna get a whole lot of us messed up. So again, you need to have yourself an Abigail. You need to have yourself an Abigail. I'm gonna drop down to verse 30. And it shall come to pass when the Lord shall have done to my Lord according to all the good that he has spoken concerning thee, and shall have appointed thee ruler over Israel. In 31. That this shall be no grief unto thee, nor offense of heart unto the Lord, either that thou hast shed blood causeless, or that my Lord has avenged himself. But when the Lord shall have dealt well with my Lord, then remember thy handmaid. And David said unto Abigail, blessed be the Lord God of Israel, which sent thee this day to meet me. And blessed be thy advice. Blessed be thy advice, and blessed be thou, which has kept me this day from coming to shed blood, and from avenging myself with my own hand. Okay? Wise woman who entreated David. Okay, we know David's fame was going throughout Israel. Who entreated David. Now, she had a foolish, churlish man. Okay, shalom, brother Dennis. She had a foolish and churlish man, but she still was doing the things that this was just hospitality. This is, you didn't, okay, in Israel as a culture, we didn't do that. We didn't do that. Okay, you have to show some hospitality. Okay, look at the Shunammite woman. Okay, you had to show some hospitality When someone is doing a kindness to you, you return that kindness with some hospitality. But Nabal, no, he want to talk crazy. But look who protected her house. Abigail. Because she's wise. Because she had her household's back. She protected her household. You want a woman who has your back. Now, you don't have to be a Nabal for that, but you got to have a woman who is wise, has some sense about her, and she's got your back. That's one of the qualities you should be looking for in a woman. Someone who's going to sign up for your program or who's going to have your back. Let's go on over to 2 Samuel, and then we're going to turn the tables around a little bit so the sisters know what they should be looking for. Okay? Let's go to 2 Samuel. 2 Samuel chapter 20. 2 Samuel chapter 20. And I'm going to pick it up at verse 13. Okay? 2 Samuel chapter 20, verse 13. And when he was removed out of the highway, all the people went on after Joab to pursue after Sheba, the son of Bichri. And he went through all the tribes of Israel unto Abel and to Beth-Mahachah and all the Barites. And they were gathered together and went also after him. And they came and besieged him in Abel of Beth-Mahachah, and they cast up a bank against the city. And it stood in the trench, and all the people that were with Joab battered the wall to throw it down. Then cried a wise woman out of the city, Hear, hear, say, I pray you, unto Joab, come near hither, that I may speak with thee. So she wanted to talk to Joab. Now, Joab was one of David's soldiers that he sent out to go catch this dude, okay? You need to catch this dude. You need to get this dude, okay? You need to get this dude, basically. So he was going in there. He was about to just tear up everything until he got the dude. And when he was come near unto her, the woman said, Art thou Joab? And he answered, I am he. Then she said unto him, Hear the words of thy handmaid. Again, she sounds a little bit like Abigail and stuff, saying, come with some respect. You get women today, not a whole lot of respect. But okay, come with a little bit of respect. I'm here. And then she said unto him, Hear the words of thy handmaid. And he answered, I do hear. Then she spake, saying, They were wont to speak in old times, saying, They shall surely ask counsel at Abel. And so they ended the matter. I am one of them that are peaceable and faithful in Israel. Thou seekest to destroy a city and a mother in Israel. Why wilt thou swallow up the inheritance of the Lord? And Joab answered and said, Far be it from me that I should swallow up or destroy. The matter is not so. But a man of Mount Ephraim, Sheba, the son of Bichri. Okay, this is what he's saying. He said, that's not what I'm trying to do. I'm not trying to just destroy everybody just for the sake of destroying everybody. I'm trying to catch a guy. I'm trying to get this guy. And he said, Sheba, the son of Bichri, by name, has lifted up his hands against the king, even against David. Deliver him only, and I will depart from the city. And the woman said unto Joab, Behold, his head shall be thrown to thee over the wall. Then the woman went unto all the people in her wisdom, and they cut off the head of Sheba, the son of Bichri, and cast it out to Joab. And he blew a trumpet, and they retired from the city, every man to his tent. And Joab returned to Jerusalem unto the king. Okay, so now he was like the captain of David's army and stuff, and he was about to tear that city up. Okay, he was about to tear that city limb from limb, but a wise woman stood up and said, Hey, whoa. Okay, we serve the God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. Okay, we are children of the Most High. We are his inheritance. You're about to just start destroying everybody for one guy? Of course, he explains, well, that's not what I'm trying to do. I'm just trying to catch this one guy. And she said, you know what? We'll throw his head over the wall. You'll have your man. You'll have the proof that he's dead, too. Because she just has some wisdom. She has some wisdom and discernment about her. And that's the kind of stuff that we should be looking for when we're looking for a mate. I don't think chopping off somebody's head should be the message that you're taking from this, but you should be taking the fact that she is a wise, faithful, peaceable woman in Israel. That's what you should be taken from. Now we're going to turn the table a little bit, and I want to talk to the sisters and let you guys know, what should you be looking for? What should you be looking for in a man of Israel? Let's look at some of the things you should be looking for. Go with me to Job. I just want to go to Job chapter 1, okay? Let's go to Job chapter 1, verse 1. A couple of qualities, just a few qualities. And the women, guys, you want a woman zealous for the law, okay? You want someone to be your right hand, right there. She could be your counselor and your advisor and things like that. Someone who encourages you. Someone of wisdom. Obviously, we want a woman, a meek and quiet spirit, okay? These women spoke. They didn't mean, oh, she can't say anything. No, I'm not saying that. Of course she can speak, okay? We're reading what these women were speaking and talking about. I'm just saying, a meek and quiet spirit. Someone who has your back. Someone who is selfless, okay? Someone selfless, like Esther. She could have been like, hey, I'm a queen, and hey, I'm cool. But what? She was always concerned about her people. She wasn't concerned just about her own little well-being. Oh, I made it now. I'm in the house of the king. You know, I can have whatever I want, do whatever I want. Hey, everybody else, that's your problem. Figure it out. No, she wasn't like that. She was selfless. So you want a woman like that. But, women, let's look at some of the things that you want to look for. In Job chapter 1, let me start at verse 1. And there was a man in the land of Uz whose name was Job, and that man was perfect and upright, and one that feared God and eschewed evil. Verse 1, chapter 1, verse 1, right there, ladies, that's what you want to look for. Okay? I'm not done, but that's what you want to look for. Okay? Right there. Verse 2. And there were born unto him 7 sons and 3 daughters. Okay? So he had 10 kids. 7 sons, 3 daughters. His substance also was 7,000 sheep and 3,000 camels and 5,000 yokes of oxen and 500 she-asses in a very great household, so that this man was the greatest of all the men of the East. And his son went and feasted in their houses, every one his day, and sent and called for their 3 sisters to eat and to drink with them. And it was so, when the days of their feasting were gone about, that Job sent and sanctified them, and rose up early in the morning and offered burnt offerings according to the number of them all. For Job said, it may be that my sons have sinned and cursed God in their hearts. Thus did Job continually. That's all I wanted. I just wanted those first 5 verses. That's all I wanted. Because one, he was a perfect and upright, not perfect without flaw, never made a mistake. That's not what that perfect means. Okay? In that context, but he was perfect and upright, and he feared God and eschewed evil. He tried to stay away from evil best way he can. You want a guy like that doesn't run towards evil, doesn't plot to do evil. And look at one of the other things he did. He offered sacrifices and prayed for his family. One of the things I pray for my family, constantly praying for my family. Stand in the gap, start praying. So that's what you want. You want a husband who prays. You want a husband who prays for himself, prays for you, prays for the family, prays for his household. Definitely do that. I do it now. I think I need to do it more. Definitely do that. So, does he pray and fear God? Sisters, that's what you're looking for. Now, obviously, time won't permit me this time. I can do a laundry list of all the qualities that we can look for and give many, many more examples. But I'm trying to get, this bullet point version for you guys so you can kind of get it and consider it and think about it. These people exist. There is someone who's on the path with you. There is somebody who's on the path. Someone for you is on your path. I'm telling you. Okay? It's just that the path is long, right? The gate, the path is narrow. The straight gate is narrow. But somewhere on that path is that person for you. It may not be right here, right now, but it might be a mile down the road, or 2, or 10. But they're on that path. That's the one. And what happens is you veer off the path, you go somewhere else, and you pick up any kind of strays along the way. Is that the one for you? Let's go to our next one. 1 Kings. Let's go to 1 Kings. 1 First Kings chapter 3. You want a guy who can humble himself. He can take correction. He fears God. Wants to be upright. First Kings chapter 3. This kind of man you're looking for, ladies. First Kings chapter 3. Let's look at this. First Kings chapter 3 and verse 3. And Solomon loved the Lord, walking in the statutes of David his father. Only he sacrificed and burnt incense in high places. Okay? Only he sacrificed and burnt incense in high places. I'm going to skip down to verse 5. In Gibeon, the Lord appeared to Solomon in a dream by night. And God said, ask what I shall give thee. And Solomon said, thou hast showed unto thy servant David, my father, great mercy, according as he had walked before thee in truth and in righteousness and in uprightness of heart with thee. And thou hast kept for him this great kindness, that thou hast given him a son to sit on the throne as it is this day. And now, O Lord my God, thou hast made thy servant king instead of David my father, and I am but a little child, and I know not how to go out or come in. And thy servant is in the midst of thy people, which thou hast chosen, a great people that cannot be numbered nor counted for multitude. Give therefore thy servant an understanding heart to judge thy people, that I may discern between good and bad. For who is able to judge this thy so great a people? Okay, look at the attitude that he had here. This so great a people. Verse 10. And the speech pleased the Lord that Solomon had asked this thing. So fellas, if you make a similar prayer, I'm not talking about ruling all Israel, but you make a similar prayer. This is the kind of prayers that pleases the Lord. And God said unto him, because thou hast asked this thing and has not asked for thyself long life, neither asked for riches. You're not asking for long life. You're not asking for riches. You're not asking for, you see what I'm saying? You're asking for wisdom. Look at it. He's pleased that you're asking for wisdom rather than asking for, Lord, if you make me hit my numbers, if I hit them numbers and see? Okay, so sisters, that's what you're looking for. It has not asked for thyself long life, neither asked for riches for thyself, nor has asked the life of thy enemies, but has asked for thyself understanding to discern judgment. Behold, I have done according to thy words. Lo, I have given thee a wise and an understanding heart, which is in mine, so that there was none like thee before thee, neither after thee shall any arise like unto thee. Look at what he's going to give him. 13. And I have also given thee that which thou hast not asked, both riches and honor, so that there shall not be any among the kings like unto thee all thy days. So you want to have a husband, okay? You want to have a husband that he goes to the Lord for his wisdom, that he prays for this wisdom, that he's not asking for frivolous things. I just want to be rich just to be rich. I just want to hit that number. I just want a lucky break. It's not what you're looking for. You're a guy with a plan. He's guided by the Most High. He goes to the Most High for counsel and wisdom. See, women, during the courting phase, these are the things that you're supposed to be looking for in a man. You don't have to be instantly married to anybody. These are the things you want to be looking for. You want to be looking towards. Let me look. Okay. Do you know what? I don't want to jump ahead of myself. We're going to keep going. I don't want to jump ahead of myself. Okay. A guy who looks for wisdom. Go to Genesis 29. Here's another characteristic, something you want to look for in a man. Watch this. Genesis 29. We want to look at this as well. Get a couple more of these so we can close it out. Genesis 29. Okay, when we get to Genesis 29, I'm going to start at 15 and we're going to jump around a little bit. Obviously, this is about Israel, okay? The patriarch Israel, okay? So we're going to go to 15. And Laban said unto Jacob, because thou art my brother, this is basically his nephew, for thou art my brother, shouldest thou therefore serve me for naught? Tell me, what shall thy wages be? He said, yeah, okay, you're not going to just serve me for nothing. Just be in my house. You're doing all this work. You're doing all this stuff or whatever. I got to give you something, okay? Really, I got to give you something. And Laban had two daughters. The name of the elder was Leah, and the name of the younger was Rachel. Leah was tender-eyed, but Rachel was beautiful and well-favored. And Jacob loved Rachel and said, I will serve thee 7 years for Rachel, thy youngest daughter. And Laban said, it is better that I give her to thee than that I should give her to another man. Abide with me. Okay? So understand this, sisters. The women of Israel stayed with their father and stayed under their father's covering until her father gave her away to a husband. Now, I know situations today are a little bit different. A lot of our sisters are out there uncovered. What I mean is that you're not under your father's authority and everything. I pray that changes. But you can get other authority, okay? You get under your pastor, okay? Or you get under your uncle, you get under somebody, okay? An elder, you get under an elder and let him cover you, okay? Okay, so but your situation can change, but that's how they did. That's one of the things. He said, so abide with me, okay? Abide with me. I like what you said, Sister Robin. Yeah, quit waiting for this fictitious Prince Charming, okay? Just, don't fall for the fictitious Prince Charming or whatever. There's some tangible qualities that you can look for in a brother, okay, in a man of Israel. That's what I mean, a person who fears God, okay, follows the Most High, who you can look for. You can see these things, okay? These things, you can see these things. Does he pray? Okay? All right? Bless you, Sister Robin. That's what I'm talking about. That's how it should be. You're following the book with that. You stay under the covering of your father until your husband comes along. And preferably with your father's blessing, you go to your husband. That's protocol. That's just how it goes. Women, so okay, you want to be married, but the question is, do you want a blessed marriage? That's the question. Do you want a good marriage, a blessed marriage? So, trying to help you. So, and Jacob served 7 years for Rachel, and they seemed unto him but a few days for the love he had for her. And Jacob said unto Laban, give me my wife, for my days are fulfilled, that I may go in unto her. Okay, so again, he already called her a wife already, because once you are engaged, once you are betrothed, yes, you gotta, once you're betrothed, that's how it is, You don't get to go around and shopping anywhere else. Once you are engaged, what we call engaged, once you're that's it. And Laban, see, actually, we're going to skip around just a little bit. We're going to go a little bit. And Jacob said unto him, give me my wife so I can go in unto her. So let's skip down to 27, because we know they threw a big party. And I'll answer that question. He said, what makes a marriage legit in the eyes of the Most High? Okay, so I'm going to answer it if it's if it's an honest question. Okay. The world we live in is a little bit different, as you guys already know this. Not all of us are following the protocol. So let me just say what it should be, okay? What it should be. Women should be covered from the womb to the tomb. They should remain in their father's house until the husband comes along and the father gives her away to the husband, okay? And then she leaves the covering of her father for the covering of her husband. And she is under the law until he dies. Okay? Until he dies or she dies, whichever one comes first. Okay? That's technically how that's supposed to work. What constitutes a marriage? Agreement, witness, consummation. Agreement, witness, consummation. Okay? Agreement between the two, you guys agree to be married, or obviously if the father's there, okay, you guys agree to be married. Okay? Witness of the Most High, witness by the tribe, witness by the community, so people know, yeah, they got married. Okay? Yeah, these guys, they're all together. You need a witness so people know, hey, this is your, this is a married woman, okay? Or, that kind of thing. And then you consummate. That's a marriage in the eyes of the Most High. Okay? They didn't necessarily, they didn't go down to, the courthouse or any of that. That's just not how that's done. All the ceremony was added later. You can have a ceremony, that's fine. That's added later. But yeah, just to answer your question, witness, agreement, consummation. Okay, so I'm gonna drop down to 27. Okay, fulfill her week. Now it's talking about Rachel again because we know that he ended up with Leah. We know that our father Jacob ended up with Leah. Okay, a little bit of little betrayal going on right there, but he ended up with Leah. So he said, "Well, I'm gonna go ahead and because Laban was like, look, the firstborn, they got to get married first, that kind of thing." So anyway, so 27, fulfill her week, and I will give thee this also for the service which thou serve with me yet 7 other years. And Jacob did so, fulfilled her week, and he gave him Rachel, his daughter, to wife also. And Laban gave to Rachel, his daughter, Bilhah, his handmaid, to be her maid. And he went in also unto Rachel, and he loved also Rachel more than Leah, and served him yet 7 other years. Okay, so we're not going to get all caught up in, oh, he loved Rachel more, da da da. That was the deal. Okay, he saw Rachel, he made a deal for Rachel, but he got tricked and bamboozled and ended up with Leah. Nothing wrong with Leah, but he got tricked. Okay, you got tricked, you're going to feel some type of way if you got tricked. So, but we're not going to go into that. So, what are we going to draw from this, ladies? This man, our forefather, okay, Israel, was willing to work 14 years for his 2 wives. Okay? 14 years. He's willing to work. He worked 7 for Leah. He worked 7 more for Rachel. You find a guy who's willing to work that hard? 7 years for you. You find a man willing to work 7 years for you before consummation. Okay? Now, do you got to wait 7 years? I'm not saying you got to wait 7 years. I'm not saying that. But what I'm saying is that, you got some dudes who won't even put in 7 months, 7 weeks, barely 7 days, long enough to get a paycheck. So, sisters, is it a hardworking man? Is it a man about his business? That's what I mean by hard. Is it a man about his business? Everyone doesn't have to do this exact same thing. Everyone doesn't have to be necessarily blue collar, but they all have to be hardworking with respect to their industry. So do you have a hard-working man? See, these are some of these qualities. You got a man who fears God, who is upright, who prays for you, who prays for the family. Is that the kind of guy he is? Talk about those things. You should be looking for those things. Is it a guy who seeks wisdom? Seek after the Most High for wisdom, like Solomon. One who works hard. One who works hard for you. He's about his business. He's trying to actually build something. He's actually trying to get somewhere. He's actually trying to establish something. He's actually trying to leave an inheritance for you. Is he building his house so when he comes to pick you up, you have somewhere to go? And I'm talking about a brother who's maybe single right now. You may be single right now. Are you preparing a place? Isn't that what the Messiah say? Hey, I go to prepare a place and I'll come back and receive you. Or so while you're waiting on that wife, while you're waiting on her, are you going to go and prepare a place right now? And ladies, while you are waiting for the man, while you're waiting for this man, are you being like 5 of the 10 virgins who kept their oil, who are doing what you should be doing, so that if you're Abigail, one day David shows up? Or if you're Rachel and Leah, one day a hard working man like Jacob shows up. These are the things that we got to look at. And I'm not done. We can do a lot. We can do a lot. Let's do another one. Let's do another one. Okay? Do another one. You got a man who's courageous, willing to do whatever he has to do. Let's go one more place. Let's go to Deuteronomy 34. Let's go to Deuteronomy 34. These are the things we got to be looking at. We got to be looking at these things, brothers and sisters. We really do. We got to be looking at these things. I'm in the wrong book here. Deuteronomy chapter 34, if you will. Deuteronomy chapter 34. I want you guys to see something. Let me read verse 7 through 9. Deuteronomy 34, 7 through 9. And Moses was 120 years old when he died. His eyes were not dim, nor his nor his natural force abated. Okay, so you know how when someone's really old and you listen to them, they're weak and they're feeble, and they they start losing their sight and stuff like that. Moses didn't lose his sight; he saw perfectly fine. His natural force was not abated. You know how sometimes when they have a voice and they really sound feeble and they just don't. No. See, his voice was just as strong as it had always been. Okay, just as strong as it had always been. Okay, and the children of Israel wept for Moses in the plains of Moab 30 days. So the days of weeping and mourning for Moses were ended. And Joshua the son of Nun was full of the spirit of wisdom, for Moses had laid his hands upon him. And the children of Israel hearkened unto him and did as the Lord commanded Moses. As the Lord commanded Moses. Okay, so we're talking about Joshua here. Now let's go to chapter 1. Okay, let's look at a couple things as well. Now, Joshua chapter 1, which should be the very next thing you guys see. Now, after the death of Moses, the servant of the Lord, it came to pass that the Lord spake unto Joshua the son of Nun, Moses' minister, saying, Moses, my servant, is dead. Now, therefore, arise, go over this Jordan, thou and all this people, unto the land which I do give to thee, even to the children of Israel. Every place that the sole of thy foot shall tread upon, that have I given unto you, as I said unto Moses, for the wilderness and this Lebanon, even unto the great river, the river Euphrates, all the land of the Hittites, and upon the great sea toward the going down of the sun shall be your coast. There shall not any man be able to stand before thee all the days of thy life, as I was with Moses. So I will be with thee, and I will not fail thee, nor forsake thee. Verse 6. Be strong and of good courage, for unto this people shalt thou divide for an inheritance the land which I swear unto their fathers to give them. Only be thou strong and very courageous, that thou mayest observe to do according to all the law which Moses my servant commanded thee. Turn not from it to the right hand or to the left, that thou mayest prosper whatsoever thou goest. Whatsoever thou goest. This book of the law shall not depart out of thy mouth, but thou shalt meditate therein day and night, that thou mayest observe to do according to all that is written therein. For then thou shalt make thy way prosperous, and then thou shalt have good success. Sisters, you got a courageous man? I'm not talking about someone who goes up to anybody and start trouble. I'm talking about a courageous man to walk out in this world to do what needs to be done. Not be ashamed. Do what needs to be done. Not afraid to follow the voice of the Lord. Not afraid to follow the voice of the Lord. Not afraid to take charge when it's time to take charge. And I say when it's time to take charge, look at Joshua. He was a follower first and gave Moses honor. He didn't try to usurp authority from Moses, did he? Okay? He didn't try to usurp authority from Moses at all. And when it was his time to rise up, he rose up. And the Lord was with him. We're not talking about guys who have misguided intentions, have maybe they do want to lead, right? Maybe they do want to lead, but for all the wrong reasons. Because they want to inflate their ego. Hey, look, I got 10, 20, 30, 50, 100, 1,000, 10,000 people following me and listening to what I'm saying and stuff like that. See, those in leadership know that it can be a burden. but they're willing to do it. They're willing to do it if that's what the Most High wants them to do, if that's what the Lord wants them to do. And they wait their turn. Servant leadership, they wait their turn. Joshua waited his turn. Elisha waited his turn for the mantle to be passed from Elijah down to him. He waited his turn, didn't usurp authority. What did Korah try to do when Korah tried to usurp authority from Moses? We know what happened with that. But you're talking about a courageous leader. You're talking about someone who waits their turn, and when it's time to rise up, when it's time to take the lead, they do it. You want a husband like that? You want a husband like Joshua, or do you want a husband like Korah? You want a husband like David, or do you want a husband like Nabal? But there are more out there. There are brothers and sisters out there. I mean, a lot of groups, a lot of brothers and sisters who are actually looking for not the next person, they're looking for the right person. We should be looking at the profiles of our ancestors. People who were good enough to be mentioned in the Word. People who are good enough to be mentioned. And that's what we're looking for. I want to thank each and every one of you guys for joining me on this Shabbat. I appreciate you guys giving me your time and attention. I do plan on thank you, Brother Harris. Thank you, Brother Harris. Thank you very much. I do plan on to give more of these. I do plan on giving some more of these. So join me live. I'm gonna try to keep you guys updated. You know, I try to post something every Shabbat, but I want to do some more of these live ones here. I do. I want to do some more of these live ones, uncut, unedited. But again, obviously, I can't flash the scriptures across the bottom of the screen, so you're gonna have to, pay attention and write them down and go back to them later. But what I wanted to do again, this was inspired because we have a lot of single sisters and brothers out there, and one of the things I didn't want to happen was them to get turned away. Thank you. I don't want to. Thank you, Jeremiah. I don't want some of our brothers and sisters to get turned away because an unbeliever kind of drawing them away. Just because they are attracted to them or they're just interesting or intriguing or something like that. I want to encourage them to say, look, no. There's some brothers and some sisters out there that have the qualities that you should be looking for, that is going to bless your life and bring you up. You'll be able to get to the place that the Lord wants you to get a lot faster because you yoked up with the right person. Because you yoked up with the right person. Hey, what's going on, Sister Janie? What's going on, Sister Janie? Feast of Dedication is coming up. You're absolutely right. I won't turn this lesson to a Feast of Dedication lesson, but some people have asked, they're like, okay, well, can we do that? Whatever, yes, of course you can. Yes, you can do the Feast of Dedication. We know that our Messiah was at Solomon's porch on the Feast of Dedication. Now, I will just do a little caution. When we look at the Feast of Dedication, they were doing dedications, throughout, like the Old Testament. And then when we get to the New Testament, we know that, the Messiah was at Solomon's porch for the Feast of Dedication. But we know the real story is told in the Maccabees. But what happened is actually just a military victory, and they rededicated, the temple. Judas Maccabees won that victory from the Greeks and rededicated the temple because what they had done, they had taken over the temple. They were trying to force people to eat pork, force people not to observe the Sabbath, and they were really trying to Hellenize Israel, the Israelites in that day or whatever. But then, Judas Maccabees led a revolt and they won the victory. And then what they did was they rededicated the temple. They cleansed the temple, rededicated and stuff like that. Now, you will start to get some other things in there, you know, the lighting of the menorah. Menorah is fine. 7 candle. Right now they have like 9 candle menorahs and stuff, changing it. But no, the Bible doesn't talk about a 9 candle menorah or anything like that. But it's 7 candles. But they're talking about, you know, they only had oil long enough, but that didn't come from the Maccabees. It come from another source. Jewish tradition and stuff. Oh, they didn't have time. They didn't have time to really get enough oil so that can be lit. And miraculously, you know, it was lit for 8 days and stuff like that. But you don't find that in the historical account. So it's in First Maccabees. Thank you, brother. It's in First Maccabees 4. But so you want to look at some of those things. So try not to have any of the traditions that are not typically found in our history. Okay, so if it's found in our history, okay, fine. Stick to the sources, stick to the credible sources and things like that. But no, it is not one of the feast days or holy days found in Leviticus. So it's not, you know, Leviticus 23 or whatever. It's not part of the God's calendar type thing. It's just kind of like Purim, you know, found in Esther. Those are, I would probably say, are optional. They're optional. And the reason I say that, because some people, they're strict. They're like, well, you know, we don't do that, da, da, da. God didn't say, da, da, da. Okay, all that. Okay. One, if the Messiah had a problem with Feast of Dedication or Purim or something, he would have spoke out against it, because there's a really good track record of speaking out against something that he does not support. 2, again, it is just simply optional because you're just commemorating or memorializing. All right. 3, just beware of any of the extra added on types of traditions or whatever. Just make sure what you're doing is not going to skew or get in towards the area of idolatry or anything like that. But that's all I'm going to say about that, because that's not what this lesson is about. It's really about looking at the profiles of the patriarchs and the matriarchs and what we as brothers and sisters should be looking for in a mate. That person is in your path. You have to stay on the path. You want the one that's already on the path with you. Even if this person is brand new and don't really know anything, okay, you can be the one, brother. You can be the one, you know, to teach her if she's interested in going in that way. But guess what? You want to find that out before you get married, before you consummate. You can find out if she's willing to go that way with you. But you can find all that out before the headache. If she's like, well, I don't know, okay, then that's it. You want to find out all this information before the fact, before you are in a situation that you will have no biblical grounds to get out of. So just want to encourage all you guys, appreciate you guys sticking with me today and joining me on this particular podcast. I enjoy this. Shalom, shalom, Sister Jones. I'm gonna see you guys. Hopefully, I'm gonna see you guys next week. I still got another message for you guys. You guys have been great. I appreciate it. Thank you, and shalom, Sister Maria. Until next time, this is the Fountain of Israel's Bible Studies program. Until next time, search the scriptures and prove all things. Shalom, family.